All right, guys. Hi. I know I've tried to start this channel and some people have viewed my description. I'm a little slow to get started just because I'm new and I really don't know what I'm doing. I don't have the skills or know how to use programs to edit, so this is just going to be a one continuous video with nothing flashy. Because I'm still trying to practice and learn how to use these things. But I don't want that to slow me down or prevent me from getting this message going. So I decided I would try to address you guys today and at least work a little something. You got to be new and you got to start somewhere. And I was also hoping that you guys might help me by leaving me some comments to help me know maybe some editing programs I can get to make it a little more fun. And like if I mess up, you don't have to tolerate that because I could just cut it right out. But in the meantime, I want to talk about communication. And communication requires both speaking to someone and another person listening to what's being spoken. And I think there's not a lot of thought about how we communicate. We just know how to talk and we just know words, and out of emotion, we just say what comes to mind without really thinking about what we're saying, why we're saying it, or how it's going to make us feel that we said that in the future. And a big part of communication is critical thinking. And I think that's something they've taken away from the world today, too. Our kids are not being taught how to critically think. You know, critically thinking means questioning everything. What you see, what you hear, what you read, what somebody tells you. And it's very important to know how to think critically and analyze the information you're given. Social media, we're just scrolling, we're just being given lots of memes and whatever people typed in a word box, and you read it and your mind just takes it in and goes, oh, okay. But you cannot just take everything you see and believe it. You have to go, before I decide to believe this. You know, you look at it, you say, what's my opinion about this? Do I believe it or not? And then you want to know, why do you believe it? And if you don't really have any information or facts that can guide you one way or another, then you might want to do a little research. Type it in Google. I tend to stay away from Wikipedias. I really don't trust that. Obviously, there's .coms, .orgs, .edus, .govs. Some of those sources of information could be a little more trustworthy than others. But I tend to read a handful of articles, somewhere between 5 and 10, and whatever I see being said in the majority of the articles, I'll start to say, okay, if 7 out of 10 people said this, I'm going to say this is probably most likely true, so I'll form that into my belief for the moment. But also, when you're forming your opinions and thinking critically, you really have to have an open mind. Like, you were taught that a square is a square growing up, and you have to somehow say, I can't be closed-minded about this square. I have to keep my mind open because I don't know for sure what I've been taught if this is a square. So you keep your mind open, because what if you find out that it's a triangle? You need to be able to reshape your mind around true beliefs. I know there's a lot of argument these days. There's conspiracy theories on that the earth is actually flat, and they've been lying to us. You have to be able to decide where you lie on that issue, or if it even matters to you to lie on a side. Maybe you just say, I grew up believing the earth was round, and I'm going to stick with that. So, you know, critically thinking is just about analyzing everything you hear. When they tell you, oh, this guy is a bad person, you cannot just take that in your body and go, oh, yeah, it's been said, so that person's a bad guy. You have to go, why are they saying that? Well, let me look up what bad things this person may have done. So it is a little work to learn how to communicate, because at first we're going to have to change ourselves. We're going to have to address where we're lacking and try to build ourselves as people. So, like I said, I'm going to keep this video short. This is my first post. I don't know how this works. I just want to get this up, and I wanted to talk to you guys. And I just was hoping that if you guys are truly interested in learning how to communicate, being more in control of your emotions so that you can think about what you say before you say it, and so you can think about why you're speaking before you say any words, so that we can have more meaningful conversations. But there's also a lot of things in this world that I'll need to address that are hindering us from being able to communicate with each other. There's a lot of strong divisions based on religion, politics. Those are very strong factors that we can't escape. And there's just been turmoil surrounding politics and religions since the dawn of time. Also, a big problem I have with us being able to communicate is they've been recently trying to break down our language and how we categorize descriptive terms. Basically, differing pronouns and the breakdown of us not knowing how to address somebody. And we might not be part of the group that understands the pronouns, but how can I talk to someone and have any kind of factual conversation or meaningful conversation when we don't even have agreed upon terms for how we're going to relate and communicate? I'm not saying that their language is wrong, but at the same time, if you're going to create a new language and a new identity and make it where those of us that aren't necessarily part of it, we can't understand it and we can't communicate with you on it, then I don't know how we can come together as a people still to just agree to disagree. Even if I don't agree with someone, I'd like to understand where they're at. Understanding people is a big part of communication, and sometimes we don't gain understanding until we grow and we have experiences with people and we learn to put our own feelings aside. Sorry. I have cats, busy cats. But we got to put our own thoughts and feelings aside sometimes to communicate. Just real quick before I leave, I just wanted to have us set a goal to work on. If you want to share this goal with me, I'm learning right now to not communicate out of emotion. So I've been practicing being silent when I'm angry. And it's been helping a lot, because when you're silent in anger, you don't say things that you can't take back, that the other person listens to and remembers and gives them thoughts and feelings, and maybe can make them say things towards you. So anger is just one way, a form of emotion that we might communicate out of, anger and frustration, and that's very dangerous ways to communicate. Sometimes we communicate out of sadness or self-pity, and that has its own tone and energy vibration. I'm not quite sure, but I would say yes, even happiness, even if we're joyful or feeling elated, we need to be careful, or excited, we need to be careful how we communicate in those happy feelings, because sometimes that can lead to us being prideful and boasting, which can sometimes push other people away who don't want to hear you so high on yourself. So, being happy and communicating with others that you love and wanting them to know good things that have happened to you is fine, but we have to make sure we tone down and say, okay, I'm very excited about this. I'm so angry about this. I'm so angry about this. But we still have to calm down and realize sorry, I had a little hair. But we have to realize how we're coming off to the person we're communicating to. How can you communicate to someone and you're not even concerned how they're interpreting the communication? No, that's very important. When you're communicating a point, whatever ear you're talking to is very important. Like I'm communicating to you guys right now. And I hope I'm talking in a way that you can hear me, that makes sense. And I know this is a little boring and bland, just 10 or 15 minutes of me just talking, giving a little lecture, but I do want to make this more fun because I see this as an interactive community. I'm working on myself, and it just makes me see the world around me and how we're in such peril with being able to communicate ideas, family avoiding each other because of politics, or one side doesn't want to hear another because we worship different gods or believe different religious books. And I just want us to all be able to come together and understand that even if you like different food and you have your own God to worship, you might be a Democrat or a Republican or an independent. I don't care. We are all humans. And if we keep letting these political and religious leaders keep us divided through our faith and through our democratic beliefs, then we will not be able to communicate to save ourselves from these massive things that are going on around us that maybe we can't even make any sense of. So I just want us to learn how to communicate. I don't know when I'll be back, but first I was hoping you guys might leave me some comments. Like I said, I want this to be an interactive community. I need your feedback. I'm hoping to help people, but I'm hoping other people will help me too. I am still learning and building myself and growing to reach enlightenment, to be the good person that I would hope to be. I have my history. I like to tell you more. I've been an angry person. I've really had to work on myself. And seeing where I've gone and my success, but also how long it's taken, I just don't want it to be in vain. And why should I only help build up myself when I see so many people around me who are struggling and we're not even sure how to talk to people anymore? And, you know, maybe also with this whole parasocial relationships, which this will kind of be that, right? I'm on screen talking to you, and we're going to develop a friendship, but through means of me talking to you, and then you'll type comments back. But it can still be a good relationship, as long as we don't see this as a replacement for actual social interactions. So I do want to continue to post content. I like to post content and very often, but I just don't want it to be boring. I watch a lot of YouTube videos recently, and I see what people are doing with their editing and making it real aesthetically pleasing so that people want to watch it. And I think I'm giving good content, so I want it to be broadcast in a way that makes you guys want to watch it. I'm also going to be keeping it appropriate on here. I think communication lessons are for everyone. So even my youngest YouTuber, it could be a 6-year-old, 8-year-old, a teenager. I think this is going to be good for all of us. And if we're adults who are getting angry and not communicating properly and being like, dang, man, maybe I shouldn't have talked to my boss like that. Or, you know, we don't want to regret what we've said. And we don't want it to push away the people that we love. So I'm just going to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please, please, please give me some feedback. If you know anything, I'm just learning. I'm just a beginner, but I don't want to let that stop me. So remember, your lesson for this week, no matter how you're feeling, whether you're happy, angry, sad, pitying yourself, doesn't matter. Before you communicate with the people around you, try to actively catch what emotion you're feeling. And when you've pinpointed the emotion you're feeling, then ask yourself, why are you trying to communicate with a certain person? Is it just to tell them positive information? Is it to make a comment like, oh, I'm such a loser, because you need someone to encourage you to feel better? Well, instead of saying you're a loser, how about saying, I feel a little down and I just need to know what's good about me to the people who love me. And maybe that'll make me feel better. You know, sometimes we get negative and we get down on ourselves, and I don't think other people around us see us as badly as we are seeing ourselves in those pity moments. So just identify what you're feeling, and then figure out why you're trying to communicate with someone. Whether you're telling your kids to clean their room, or asking your best friend if she wants to take a trip with you. It's just, there's so many reasons to communicate. Just know why you're doing it. And then when you know why you're communicating, you can try to make sure that you communicate what you were trying to get across without getting lost in emotions. Some people are pros at that, but it's something I have to work at. And I have a feeling there's a lot of other people that need to work on that too. So we're going to get deep. So I look forward to your comments, and I'll probably be trying to post something again soon, within a week or less, as long as I see that you guys could bear with me. I'd like to just give little teaching lessons, and maybe if I get good at this and you guys like me and you like the content and you can stand hearing my voice, maybe we can even do some live streams sometimes. You know, I've never done that before, but it's a new world and I'm trying new things. And I just thank you for coming to share this time with me. And I hope I can help us all be better communicators so that we can live a better life and do greater things. Because when we take away the divisions of what stops us and keeps us down, there's no limit to where we can go. So let's learn how to communicate and let's build up. All right, guys, thank you. I look forward to your comments, and I hope this is going to be a beautiful channel.